want to revisit a conversation we had on Monday. Did you see Andy Dalton spoke to the media today?
Yes.
And despite
QB1.
Matt Nagy's desire to move Justin Fields into the lineup with the ones as part of the evaluation process, despite the fans clamoring for Justin Fields to be the guy, which they have been since the moment his name was called on draft night, Andy Dalton still holding on to that promise and has not lost his faith in himself as QB1. So here's part of what he had to say today.
Of the Justin excitement.
Yeah, I mean, you can't focus on that. If you focus on that, then that's going to beat you down. And so I know who I am. I know who I was created to be. I know where my identity lies. And so do I want the fans behind me and this team and all that kind of stuff? Yes. Do I want them behind Justin? Absolutely, I do. But that's not my focus. I can't focus on all that right now. Like I've said before, Justin's going to have his time, and Justin's going to have a great career. But right now, it's my time, and so my focus is on being the best player I can be for this team and do everything I can to help this team win.
You know, the focus, and like I said the other day, the focus, if you're a Bears fan, the focus of this organization should be that right now the Chicago Bears, the Chicago Bears are as well positioned at the quarterback position, or let's at least say, because again, it's one preseason game, so I don't want to overstate this. I don't want to be, prone to hyperbole here. If you're a Bears fan, I don't know that you've been this excited about your quarterback ever. The quarterback position, maybe ever.
No, yeah, you have.
I mean,
yeah, no, I'll tell you.
Well, no, I'm saying okay. So Jay Cutler. So wait, the Cutler trade was big, but
over the top.
But the Cutler, but the Cutler trade, as huge as it was, and weren't you there at that time?
Yeah.
Right.
I was not.
But Cutler though, here's the thing about Cutler though. Cutler, you had seen him in Denver, and it wasn't as excited as they were to have a franchise guy, or what they thought was a franchise guy, to complement that defense. There were some questions and some flaws in Jay Cutler that they saw in Denver. The talent was undeniable, but it wasn't. He didn't have this blank slate. Let's call it that. He didn't have a blank slate coming from Denver when they got Cutler, right? Remember they drafted Cade McNown like 12th overall in that '99 draft class. That was another time when there was a lot of excitement. But I'm saying like an organization that I'm gonna go out on a limb and say, there's a 4,000-yard passing season. Their first 4,000-yard passing season is in the Bears' future. I'm going to go on a limb and guess that. But an organization that has never gotten this position right. Because even when they got Trubisky, they weren't excited. I don't remember them being excited about it. The moment they got him, Bears fans were like, oh, my God, wow. What are we doing? Right?
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
You have a guy in Justin Fields who, to Andy Dalton's point, his time will come. At the risk of being repetitive, but I ain't going to assume anybody heard me the first time. It's like, look, man, there is no rush to play Justin Fields. If it's week 1 or week 11, if it's week 2 or year 2, it doesn't matter. Justin Fields, this is a 10-year project with Justin Fields. Andy Dalton, you could do, I said this when they signed him, and that was before they had Justin Fields waiting in the wings. You could do a hell of a lot worse than Andy Dalton as a stopgap. Like, we know what it is. Andy Dalton is a stopgap. Like, I don't understand why this is even a difficult subject for Bears fans, why Bears fans have been struggling with this. The best outcome is for Andy Dalton to start the season and for Justin Fields to play when he's ready. 4 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever it is. Why are people trying to rush this and say, man, put Justin Fields in there? Like, why?
Hold on.
Let the dude, bring him along slowly. They messed it up so many times. Don't mess it up.
I don't like your premise.
What's my premise?
Can I tell you that?
What's my premise?
That he's not ready now. Because you say, hey,
he might be.
What's wrong
I didn't say he's not.
Wait,
I didn't say he's not.
Okay, right. So
did I say that?
I think that's the thing.
I'm sorry.
Well,
is that what I intimated? Is that what I implied? Is that what I implied?
Yes.
He's not ready now?
You said You said, hey, what's wrong with people?
If Matt
Can
Nagy,
it be week 4, week 6?
okay, let me rephrase it
might
real
be
quick.
week
Let me
1.
rephrase it real quick, and I'll give it back.
What if it's week 1?
Let me rephrase. It might be.
All right.
Okay, let me rephrase it right quick. Let me rephrase it. I'm sorry.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you for pushing back on that. The moment Matt Nagy declares Justin Fields the starter, then I will presume that he's ready. Even if once he gets out there, maybe he takes his lumps. What I'm saying is, I like the way the Bears are playing this. Andy Dalton can be QB1 into the season, and Justin Fields sooner rather than later will get on the field. And that's good enough. There doesn't need to be this rush to make the decision now to start Justin Fields. He may be ready now. He may be ready in a week. He may be ready in a month. I don't know. What I'm saying is Bears fans should just count their blessings and say, you know what? We got a guy for the long term, and we can develop him my preferred way, which is on his own timetable, versus throwing him in there when we got a guy like Andy Dalton who might be able to win some games for us in the meantime. Is that a better explanation of my thought process here?
That's much better. That's much better. That's much better. Now, you know this. We talk about everything on this show. We talk very openly, honestly, about all aspects of our lives, including our marriages. Now, this is something you're not supposed to do in a marriage. In a marriage, let's say, for example, you guys go to a restaurant and you have a bad experience, and it's your fault, husband. It's your fault. When you go back to that restaurant another time, a year later, 2 years later, your wife should not bring up, hey, I remember the last time we were here, you screwed it up. Don't screw it up again, right? You're not supposed to do that in a marriage. You're not supposed to bring up stuff that y'all have already gotten
Old
past.
stuff. Yeah.
Why are you bringing that up? Oh, like, it's going to start a fight. Why are you bringing that up? Don't do that in a marriage. But in this context, I'm going to bring it up, and so will Bears fans. The last time y'all had a franchise quarterback, y'all done effed that up. You really did. You traded up. You didn't just draft Mitch Trubisky. You moved up in the draft to get Trubisky. So, excuse me, pardon me, if I don't know, take your word for it when you say somebody is ready or not. We think
evaluation.
y'all made a good.
They don't have any credibility.
We think y'all made a good move. By getting Justin Fields. You traded up for him. It's exciting. Franchise quarterback.
Yeah.
Don't tell me that a guy who had to leave Cincinnati in part because Joe Burrow was coming in, a guy who was available from Dallas because Dak Prescott is coming back, and now in Chicago is supposed to block, even temporarily, the development or the moment, the stage that should belong to Justin Fields. I can understand why the fans say, no. But Andy Dalton, you had your time. You went to a couple of Pro Bowls, some nice numbers. The numbers are good. But you're a backup now. You're a backup now. You're not a bridge guy.
But he is. Well, no, I prefer to call it a seat. You know what? So at award shows, Michael, you may know this, and even made a movie starring Dwayne Martin and Kelly Rowland. At award shows, there are these people called professional seat fillers. And
you had me at Kelly Rowland. Go ahead.
Yeah, when the stars, your wife watches the show. I'm just kidding.
No.
when the stars haven't taken their seat at the Oscars or the Emmys or whatever, they got people whose job it is to sit in the seats because you can't have empty seats. So they're called the seat fillers, right? But there is no debate. It ain't like when they get there, they got, it ain't like when Beyonce and Jay-Z get there, they gotta be like 4 and 5, bro. That's us, 4 and 5. Like, it's like, no, they know that's their seat. Like, I'm a seat filler, but I'm gonna sit up straight and I'm gonna look the part, even though this ain't my seat. Now, I know it's not my seat.
Though.
Andy Dalton.
Hard, but but they don't know
Andy
that.
Dalton is a seat filler. Andy Dalton knows that. Andy Dalton knows he's a seat filler. He is keeping the seat warm. That's all he's doing. And I understand the counter argument, which is let Justin Fields learn on the job. I know anybody that maybe listens to this conversation be like, nah, man, if guys are right there, if he's right there and more dynamic at that, let him learn on the job. Don't waste time.
He's ascending.
Don't waste time with Andy Dalton. And if that ends up being the case, I'm fine with that too. What I'm saying is this should be a non-issue because eventually
hard.
Justin
why?
Fields is going to show up
It's
and
hard,
take
though.
his seat.
Mike, it's hard to do that. Like we talked with our guy, Ryan Fitzpatrick, not only did he give, fathering advice for those of us out there, looking for other kids, he also talked about the perspective on quarterbacking. And one of the things he said, he didn't say it then, but he has said recently, post-Tahoe conversation, is he had a real hard time giving up the seat to Tua Tagovailoa, even though he knew that was coming. It was really difficult.
Yeah, but that was different.
I love his quote. His quote was, "Oh, for real? You joking?" He thought it was a joke when Flores came to him and said,
Yeah, so did I, remember?
"We're putting Tua in there." Yeah. So, and for Andy Dalton, right now he says, "This is my time." Maybe he thinks he's a seat warmer for all of 2021, where the seat warmers at the award shows, they know, hey, they could be coming any minute. He doesn't think Justin Fields is coming any minute. He thinks Justin Fields is coming in
I think he knows
2022 or 23. He doesn't think it's going to happen this year. And you could really upset the locker room. That whole thing could capsize.
No, that's two different.
If your
That's two different
quarterback-
things. That is the same sport. It is the same league.
It's not realistic.
No, that's not the same thing. Because I had a problem with Fitz and Tua last year. Fitzpatrick was rolling, and the Dolphins were rolling. Okay, and Tua, no preseason, had not coming off the injury, had not shown that he was ready to play. And the way the rest of the season bore out, backed that up. This is different. And if Andy Dalton thinks that just because they told him you're the starter, that he's a starter in perpetuity, that they're like Justin Fields ain't, he got a 1-year deal, so that 1 year you're the starter. He'd been around the block long enough to know better than that. I don't think Andy Dalton is delusional. I think Andy Dalton's perspective is, until I'm told otherwise, my mentality is going to be, this is my job. I am going to be the best quarterback I can be. I am the starter until I get called into an office and we have that difficult conversation. But if he thinks that he got it on lock, he must be joking. Hey, I think we should probably.
Anybody.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we should take a break. Yeah, we should. But I'll say just real quick, anybody.
Go ahead.
I'd say any team that drafts a quarterback in the first round, in the first half of the first round especially, and you're that quarterback on that team, already sit down at the kitchen table, talk to the wife, say, babe, we may have to move. We may have to move real soon. I mean, like, come on. Everything is fluid. I don't care what they say to you. I don't care, hey, you're going to be the guy this year. When you draft a quarterback, 15, 16 and higher. 16 and higher, your team does it. Hey, and you're the veteran quarterback, start making plans to bounce. It's coming real soon, sooner than you think.
Yeah. Let's Aaron Rodgers.
Back
All
Back at where they draft him? 20-something? Back at.
Yeah, but even I would say even first round. I would say first round in general, the clock's ticking.
First round in
Again,
general?
unless you're Rodgers. All right.
That's fair.